G'day and welcome. My name's Cautious Pancake and today I'm doing a full base build guide for the AFK Lemming Tower base. In video 25 I showed off this base and a bunch of people asked for a more detailed video on how to build it, so here it is. Without further ado, let's set out an 8x11 rectangle, marking the corners with some wooden frame blocks. Next, we dig out a channel between each of the corner blocks, but only one block deep. When that's finished, it'll look like this. Remove the 4 corner blocks and dig down 1 block underneath each one. Then fill in the rectangular trench with blocks. This will form the frame in which our force field pit will sit inside and provides the stability for the frames within it. Next, dig out the inside of the frame 5 blocks deep, then fill in the bottom of the pit with blocks. I'm using the block replace tool for speed because no one wants to see a video of me doing this with an iron shovel. Here's how it should look when you're finished digging, and here's how it looks with the floor put in. Now it's time to start the pillar that forms the foundation for the base. This needs to be put 2 blocks from each wall to ensure that the zombie force field will keep them away from the pillar when they are up on the surface. Once that's done, we need to build the ramp up out of the pit. To do that, find the middle 2 blocks of the pit and then pick one of the sides for your ramp. Start placing ramp blocks and cube blocks as shown to create the ramp. Then it's time to build up the pillar until it's 1 block higher than the surrounding frames. Now it's time to build the force field. For this we are going to use the wall stud block, as this provides the force field effect but also allows zombies to fall through it. This is important so that they don't get stuck on the force field and start destroying it. When that's finished, it should look like this, with a gap above the ramp 2 blocks wide and 3 blocks deep. And into that gap, we're going to build the beginnings of our ramp that the zombies are going to run up. We do this by alternating the ramp blocks as shown. Once the ramp is 2 blocks away from the pillar, switch to cube blocks and start the sideways path. Build up the pillar to match, and here's what it looks like. Note that if we turn on stability, you can see that the pillar is all green, but the ramp up is starting to turn orange. However, if we link up the ramp to the pillar using the small trim blocks, then the stability of the ramp is improved. From here you can see I've added a bit more of a ramp using the combination of ramp blocks as before, and need to turn the corner once it's 2 blocks out from the pillar. Remember from the original video that the ramp is kept separated from the pillar so that the zombies won't attack it because they don't have a path to it. Now that we've checked that it's 2 blocks away, it's time to build up the pillar so that it's high enough to connect the ramp to the pillar when the stability of the ramp requires it. Once that's done, we can continue building the ramp upwards as before. Although in this case, I'm not sure that I like it with the second block, so we might just move it back 1 and build the ramp up from there. As you can see, we've now hit the limit of the stability. We need to put in a trim block to connect the ramp to the pillar so that we can keep on building the ramp. Since I obviously can't be trusted to do this from up high, let's add in that trim block from down below instead. There we go. That should have added the stability so that we can continue building the ramp up. And there we go. Now we just keep alternating ramp blocks, sneaking out on the edge until we can go no further. From there we need to reach out and add some extra blocks so that we can turn the corner from the blocks 2 blocks out from the pillar. From there we can keep going with the... No, wait a minute. So what I've just realized is that I haven't left enough room for the expansion of the pillar. So as we go up with the pillar, we need to build it out wider and wider as we go up, so that when we get to the top, there's plenty of room for a livable base. And normally I'd just keep going with the ramp like that, but what we need to do to give it more stability, we need to build the pillar up. And as we make the pillar higher, we need to also expand it outwards, which probably isn't going to leave enough room. As you can see, we definitely can't build the ramp up more, so we need to put in a block, a few more blocks on the pillar. And once we've done that, if we then pop over here, how high are we? 1, 3, 4. How many was that? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. This looks like about 8. So yes, that's about 8 blocks high. So once we get to that height, we need to expand it out. But if we do that and put in the ramp block, it's going to be right up next to the ramp. We haven't left enough room. So we need to take this down, rebuild our pillar, expand it out, and then rebuild the ramp an extra block out so that we've got plenty of room and we still keep the zombies away from the expanded pillar. Gee, I hope that made sense. Now that the pillar's expanded, it's time to continue the ramp up. We need to get that 2 blocks out. Trying to get the angle on the offset trim block. I can't quite get the angle from here, so what we might do is actually remove that and continue the ramp up. That'll give us an extra bit of height, and then we'll bring it around the extra block away from the pillar. It's now kind of 3 blocks away. Just need to put that on there and then see if we can sneak a cube on the end here. Like that. Then we can place the 2 trim blocks back to back, like so. And then continue, actually, I might make that a little bit higher. Need the advanced rotation. So that the block is up top, there we go, where the ramp will be so that it's nicely aligned. We can then, if I can get the angle, put the underneath ramp block, just got to check the rotation. There we go. Pop that in and continue the ramp up. Except we're out of stability. Let's put the next one in place and that will then go backwards. There we go. All good. From here we just continue the ramp up, following the same process that we've been doing. And add in the last corner. And we can start building up the rest of the pillar. Oh, see if we can keep... Oh, got away with that one. We can grab those actually while we're here. We might just take one away and hop over, that makes it a bit easier. And then we keep going with the ramp up to the corner. And we've hit stability limit again, so let's add in a trim block. Here we go. And continue on. So that was another corner and ramp. As you can see, we've hit the limit of the stability again, so we need to build up the pillar so that we can connect the trim block out to it, improve the stability, and continue on. And there we go. Now we can add in the trim block and continue our ramp. Once that's too high, we can build up the pillar again so that we can get above the ramp and keep going. Once that's done, here's how it looks. And here's how it looks with stability on. From there, it's time to expand the pillar again by putting the ramp blocks on the outside and run that around the top. Or add in the corners afterwards. Having said that, if I just run up here and add in an extra ramp, I think I've got the same problem as last time, where I've put the ramp and the pillar expansion a little bit too close together. To check it, I'm just going to remove those, jump back across and build up the ramp a little bit further so that we can see where the zombies will be when they're a little bit higher. Just copy that rotation and pop it in place. And we just need to add back in the ramps for the pillar expansion, and we can then jump back down and have a look. So yeah, that really feels too close. So what we might do instead, rather than building the ramp that we're walking on further out, we might just put it up a bit higher. I think that feels a lot better. Yes, they're a bit close, but it'll probably be okay. So let's go ahead and redo the pillar expansion, just a block higher than we had originally intended, so that there's enough room for the zombies to get past without smashing into the pillar. Now once again we've hit stability limits, so we need to pop down below and add in another offset block to help make it stronger. Now that the pillar is expanded, we can continue up with the ramp. First we've got to add another trim block to improve the stability, then we can keep going up. And here's a quick progress update. From here it's time to head back up the top, keep building up the pillar, so that it matches height with the ramp and we can start building the corner pieces and flat sections of ramp that force the zombies to jump over the side. Alright, it's finally time for our first railing corner. Making sure that the block is lined up with the edge of the platform. We can then come out sideways here and put in our first ramp. Goes away from the pillar. Since we're out of stability, we need to add in a little trim block down there. And then we can jump over and add in the next ramp. We do 2 ramps on the first part of the corner. If I can find the orientation. There we go. Followed by a cube block. Followed by a single ramp. Another cube block. And then another double ramp. From there we run into a stability problem again, but to fix this we can't actually do it from over here because any blocks that we might add would bring the ramp down. So we need to come back over onto our ramp itself and then work out where we're going to connect things up. We need to be a little bit higher, and then our next block attached to the ramp is going to be a cube, so we need to put a trim block here on the edge. Like that, and then we can attach a cube to it if it'll let us line it up. Come on. Do it the easy way. There we go. And then we can remove that and stability is fixed. Running out the rest of this ramp along here. Line it up with the edge. Build this up. And then we can do the next corner. The next corner is just a repeat of the same process that we used on the previous one. Starting with a couple of ramps. Do the first one from on the pillar. Second one needs to be done from on the ramp itself. Just by hanging over to the edge a bit. Followed by a cube block, which we can do from back on the platform. We're out of stability, so add in a small trim block here. Just put it one over. That's okay. Then from here we need the single ramp as the next part of the corner. The easiest way to get out there is to just add in a bit of an extension. Like so. Another cube block. Then the double ramp back towards the pillar. We can leave that. Took a bit of a risk taking that one out, as we might have had a bit of a collapse. So you can see there's no stability there. Add in another trim block, and off we go again towards the next corner. After adding in 2 more corners, here's where we're at. We can turn on stability to see that it's not the most stable thing in the world, but it is holding together quite well, all supported by that central pillar. From there, it's just a case of repeating the same processes that we've already done. Increase the stability through the use of trim blocks and build up the ramp. Use lots of cube blocks to build up the central tower. Forget everything you know about base building and remove the support of the ramp that you're standing on. For every 8 blocks that you go up vertically on the central pillar, expand the pillar outwards by using some ramp blocks like this. Here's how it should look as we're approaching the second flat platform. And here's how it looks with stability on. And finally, once we've finished the second and the third levels, here's how the base looks with stability off and then on again. You can also see a few of the random blocks that have fallen down from my building misadventures. There we go. We've connected it in with a basic little entrance, and from here it's just a matter of building up the walls so that we've got our small room for combat. We also need to expand the pillar again so that we've got an even bigger room on top, which is where we can then do all of our crafting during Horde night. Now that that's complete, the next thing we need to do is come on inside, get up on top, and then we can build out the last room for our crafting. Don't forget to provide some ladder access so that you can get up from the combat area below. And always make sure that the roof is attached to the central pillar, because again, that's where all the stability is coming from. And there you have it, one completed Lemming Tower AFK base. Except for, you know, just need to work out where to put the ladder up to the roof. That can pretty much go wherever you like. Let's put it this way, I think. No, let's put the ladder on the inside so that when you come up you don't accidentally run off the edge. There we go, and done. Now, while we have a quick look at how it looks, and how it looks with stability, here's also where I need to issue an apology to everybody in the comments section of the previous video where I said you need to build this with concrete, because as I've just shown, you can do it with wood frames, which have obviously a lot lower stability than concrete does. Oops, and don't forget, you got to put the railings in. You know, that key feature of the base. That little thing. And there we have it, all complete. Though I'm still worried about that corner block and whether or not the zombies are going to smash on that as they go past, but I guess we'll find out shortly. Everything else looks good though. If we head down, here's how it looks. Now, just to demonstrate how stable this is, what I thought I might do is knock some of those blocks out. So if we take out 1, there's no impact. 2, there's no impact. 3, and we lose the 2 railing blocks from the opposite corner, from, as in the furthest away from the 1 remaining pillar column. And obviously, we know what happens if we take out that one. So we're not going to do that. And lastly, just as a test, a lot of people have been asking what would happen if the zombies start to smash on the pillar in the pit. So to demonstrate that, what I might do is run a Horde night just with everything as wood. We should also hopefully confirm that I've built this right and it works still. Looks like so far so good. Zombies are running in, running up. Happy days. Looks like they're falling off too. Jumping over railings and falling down. So far so good. 45 minutes in now and everything's still going pretty smoothly. Bunching up a bit at the bottom there, but otherwise... Oh wait, I think I just heard a block break, did I? Yeah, they've smashed it. So with wood only, it only lasts about 45 minutes before they break a path. I think if we go back and have a look afterwards, that was because there was too many zombies bunched up on the path. Rather than any other issues. So it's not destroy area that does it in, it's just the volume of zombies can't get up the single path. What's going to be interesting now is what happens when they start smashing everything down below here. So while we wait for the inevitable collapse, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's watched this video. If it's given you ideas or helped you out with your builds, then please give it a like and consider subscribing. Oh, that's got it. No, it's hanging on by a thread. There we go. Prepare to be buried alive, zombies. Serves you right for smashing up my base.